It's been a while, and by a while, I mean all of summer. I've been pretty busy because I'm actually working towards getting my license and I have my permit, so a lot of actual driving has been going on, so I haven't had the time or I don't know, I guess energy as well to make videos. Don't ask about all the Overwatch I've been playing. I'll get to it all in this video, but basically I just wanted to talk about stuff. That's basically what my whole channel is, finding something to talk about. And I've decided I am going to talk about stuff a lot today and just sort of give a bunch of random opinions on stuff. And we'll just see how it randomly spilling my guts goes on, the channel. So, first thing I wanted to say is I got a massive upgrade to my setup. I'll probably show a picture here right now. My old setup was this really bad laptop that I made the horrible mistake of accidentally like installing Windows 11 on it. So not only was the operating system eating up all my resources, it already wasn't doing well before then in like actually gaming and stuff like that. So overall, that this is just huge. And a part of the reason I haven't been making videos is just I have been playing so much more like video games because now I actually have a machine that can play video games. You can go up to literally anyone I've been playing with over like the past week or so. Not even like the whole month. Like I have been playing so much Overwatch. Like I need to go on a whole tangent about Overwatch. That'll come eventually, but I have been playing so much Overwatch that you would legitimately be surprised how many hours I cranked in a new character. I started playing Tracer like a month ago. Not even, because I haven't had this full month to play stuff. I've been so busy that I can't actually I wasn't able to log in at night half the time. So I cranked like I Tracer has become almost my highest out of time played, my most played character, and that's considering I have like 15 hours on Diva. Even because let's compiling all the time I played, I've only played for about like a month because I played a little bit of Overwatch before, but like I said, my laptop wasn't doing so hot, and then I accidentally killed my laptop's performance by accidentally installing Windows 11. So I didn't get that much time to actually play Overwatch, but I cranked so much Tracer in like this past week that she has all of a sudden become my second most played character and is about to become my most played character since I don't play that much Diva anymore. And just as a little bit of background, I have always loved Overwatch because in elementary school, when it first dropped, I was around in elementary school, I heard about it, and I thought it was sick. Like, this game, like, back when people were actually hyped and having fun with Overwatch, was a part of that bandwagon. I was having a lot of fun, and I wasn't even playing the game. I couldn't convince my parents that online subscription to PlayStation Plus wasn't a scam, to the point where now I believe it's a scam because I get to play for free online now. But just the amount of fun I had just being a part of the Overwatch community, or seeing the trailers, seeing shorts and stuff, that was amazing for me. I had so much fun just watching, seeing the lore, seeing people play, and I even started getting to watch the Overwatch League. Hangzhou Spark fan, by the way. Like I know the league is dying. I wanted to mention that because everyone knows that the Overwatch League is dying. It's on its last legs, and by the end of this year, this season, like we're never gonna see it again. Maybe in Korea where they can make anything in esport, like with a actual following, but like the Overwatch League here in America is dead. Like there is nothing that can save them. All the players are Korean anyway, so they might as well just start up a Korean league. And I actually got a lot of my friends into this. Like two people that their only exposure to Overwatch was um, certain content that you'd find on a website that's not YouTube. And I turned them into people that think, hey, this game's flawed, but we're having fun with it. And I find that so great because people, whenever I talk about Overwatch, like a lot before they actually started playing, people would go like, people would be skeptical, and they'd also, rip me to shreds because I'm playing Overwatch. But now that, I've shown people that it's just a solid game with horrible community and an equally, not even, just like an infinitely worse company backing it. They're not only just a horrible company, but they're also like incompetent at literally every step of the road. It that doesn't give your game a lot of sort of, a good reputation, but it's solid. You can have fun as long as you're not taking this game too seriously. And I invite any of my friends watching this to get on because I need more friends to play with. Now, moving away from Overwatch, I wanted to mention this because of my last video being about this. Oh my gosh, why Oshinoko? Oshinoko has fallen off so hard in the manga. I am very disappointed. It doesn't feel like a lot coming from some high schooler who does this as a hobby whenever he feels like making videos, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but I genuinely feel disappointed that Oshinoko didn't work out, because this could have been something so much more. And I'm not talking about like the actual story. That's okay. I There are definitely some plot points, and yeah, there are definitely things I would change, but overall the story of Oshinoko does its job. What I'm more disappointed about is that Oshinoko had the spotlight, and it had the opportunity to keep pushing and exposing things in the industry of entertainment, which is, not everyone knows that it's such a horrible industry to be a part of, because all you see is whatever show, whatever the outcome is. But lots of people don't understand what the actual problems these people are facing are. I mean, like at the time of recording this, the writer strike happened like a couple weeks ago, and I was thinking about Oshinoko there, because Oshinoko had this opportunity, and they actually did have an arc dedicated to unappreciated writers, which is great. But after a certain point in the manga, they start focusing more on Ruby and Aqua's more character story arcs and whatnot, which isn't a bad thing inherently, but it starts detracting from what Oshinoko could have been, which could have been this good look at how horrible the entertainment industry is. There were other things I wanted Oshinoko to tackle. I wanted them to tackle things like fan and idol relationships, or celebrities getting lesser prison sentences or legal ramifications for crimes because, well, they're famous. Maybe the horrible thing of some women needing to feel like they need to provide sexual favors to move up in this industry. There are a lot of things I feel like they could have touched upon in some capacity that are big problems in this industry. And not to say that they stopped talking about these things completely. It's just once they start pushing leaning too hard into the characters, that doesn't exactly take any. It's not even the back seat now, it's in the trunk now. And I've already, this would have been fine if I cared about Ruby and Aqua. They give Ruby so much development, like near where we are in the manga right now, like all at once. It's like they give her so much development in the span of like 2 or 3 chapters, to the point where it's just like you could have done this throughout the span of the whole manga. But no, because like a lot of Oshinoko is just Ruby trying to be an idol, and you could make the argument that she's like, oh, I want to be an idol because of mom, but she has just been repeating that for basically the entirety of the manga until now, where I won't even spoil it, because like you can either assume or you don't care, but whatever, it's just they have so much going in at once to a character that had nothing for the greater majority of the plot to the point where I just genuinely don't care, and it makes the character significantly harder to like in my opinion, because she's all of a sudden doing all of these things at once, when we could have had this build up to it. We could have had this build up to it, throughout the manga, even if we were focusing on Aqua 95% of the time. And I know I got a bit heated there, if you couldn't tell from my voice, so let's take it back to something I have been enjoying a lot, besides Overwatch, because I am the greatest unranked Tracer, greatest unranked Diva, greatest unranked Ashe, greatest unranked Kiriko. I am the greatest unranked player. Like, unironically, I'm pretty okay at the game. But as a joke, I like to say I'm the greatest of all time. They should put me in the Overwatch League for like one round before they kill it off, because of the buy-in being so expensive and everyone else, not really getting any money out of this. But besides that, I have started playing Monster Hunter. I started this in at the end of my school year last year, because a friend kept telling me I should play Monster Hunter. And well, he was right. I had owned Monster Hunter World on my PS4 for a bit, and I got a bit confused. But when I revisited it, and started actually, understanding what these things are, I had fun with it. So I bought Monster Hunter Rise on my Nintendo Switch, and that was fun. Yeah, but like I said before, I believe online subscription to be a scam. So I bought Monster Hunter Rise on my PC. But then I learned that Monster Hunter Rise doesn't have crossplay. So I'm not going to be able to play with my friend, even though he's the only other person that I found that plays Monster Hunter. Which is kind of sad, but hey, whatever. What can I do, right? So with my Monster Hunter stuff going on, it's one of those few games where I genuinely feel powerful. I feel, it's a part of it is just, the big ridiculous weapons and such, but I genuinely feel a weight, a sense of power to everything I do in this game. And I really just want to recommend it to anyone, because a lot of the stats and numbers can be overwhelming. Heck, that's why I quit originally with Monster Hunter World, but it's not as complicated. You can play this game big number with a weapon you like. That's literally like, you don't have to min-max any of this. You can just like learn the hunt and then pick the weapon with the biggest number that you enjoy and then go and kill it. And then you get better weapon, and it's a lot simpler than it is on the surface, because on the surface you see all these numbers and these, the freaking everything has a tutorial in this game, because they freaking splash this in front of you, just like, hey, you can do this. This is how you do this. And honestly, first time it's helpful, but like once you start seeing it for redundant things, it becomes all very annoying. So that could be something. But if you do pick up Monster Hunter, please join me on Monster Hunter Rise. On the PC, please. I don't want to hunt by myself anymore, because I can't yell at anyone other than myself on the hunt. So please be my punching bag, my verbal punching bag. Thank you. Now, I was just thinking about this because of what the previous segment before the Monster Hunter stuff was. An anime I've actually been enjoying the manga to is Chainsaw Man. I haven't read so much of Chainsaw Man. I've been out a lot, and reading Chainsaw Man in public is like how you get put on a list. So I haven't been reading it too much. But these last 2 weeks, okay, it's this week that I'm recording this, and next week I have like absolutely nothing going on before the start of school. Like, I have one thing going on, technically two on the same day. I have like a driving lesson, and then I have some ROTC thing where I have to go present colors at a football game. So that's literally the only thing going on. And that's on a Saturday. So like this week and next week are basically free for me. And I have had the opportunity to read a little bit of the Chainsaw Man arc. I finished the Bomb Devil arc, and that's where I took a break. Let me tell you, I was trying to read Chainsaw Man in public. like at driver's ed, like the written part where you just sit in a classroom and write stuff down, they'd give us a little break every once in a while. So I'd read Chainsaw Man for like 10 minutes. And if you know, you know, but let's just say Denji and Reze at the pool, I had to freaking like turn off my phone screen down, had to like put my hand over it, just like I was not reading anything. What are you talking about? And I know no one was looking. No one there to like talk to each other except like the two guys from the same high school in the back, but like no one was talking to each other or anything. So like there was no fear, but I still like had this visceral reaction, and I was like, "Oh, geez, no," which it was like a jump scare, let me tell you, and it reminded me actually of another situation I was in where my friend Jericho, I will not let him live this. I will not let him live it down because he framed me. Like basically, he told me the manga for My Dress Up Darling was like totally fine, like not totally fine, but it was just like less, it was less bad than the anime, right? So I was like, hey, why not? Frickin' Jericho framed me because right after the first arc I had jump scared with a girl in the shower. I was like, no, I am not reading this. I had dropped it and I have not picked it up since, and I will never let Jericho live this down. In my mind, he will be my Filipino brother from another mother, and also the guy that framed me into reading My Dress Up Darling. I get real heated about this because I find it to be funny that I get heated about this, but genuinely, I was framed. Do not let anyone tell you I was reading that without a recommendation. That was my own choice. And a quick little side note about the really weird anime. My friend Lorenzo, I don't know what on earth went through his mind, like what levels of boredom he went to, but he tried watching Domestic Girlfriend. He watched it all in one sitting, he's told me. And then what happened was he freaking DM'd me in the middle of like nowhere in time, and he was just like, bro, do not watch My Dress Up Darling. This is horrible. I was like, yes, we all knew this. We all knew this was not something you should watch. So why did you watch it? And then he just said he was bored, and I was like, what levels of boredom? What goes through your, what is nothing happening? Like, this guy can make and do literally anything. He has a 3D printer. He has a computer. He has like freaking every Nintendo game known to man at his fingertips in physical form. And he chose to watch My Domestic Girlfriend. Like that was a good idea. If you can't tell, bad anime gets me really heated because it's funny, but also this is just what thought process. I'm baffled. I am like confused because under no circumstances would I think, hey, why don't I watch Domestic Girlfriend for fun? Now, taking a little bit of a back step from the whole anime stuff and back into manga, my manga collection is popping off. I will send a picture. I have gotten some absolute banging titles. Like the Persona 3 manga, I have the first issue of it. I couldn't find issue 2 at that store, unfortunately. But like anytime I go into an anime store, I have to look for manga because I have this shelf of manga that is just ever growing, and I just really, really enjoy watching it grow. Like, you know, it's a part of that whole thing where you just enjoy collecting physical media. A lot of people do it, you know. It's not that outlandish. Some people collect vinyls, some people collect books. I'm collecting anime comic books, basically. So, you know, I have a lot of issue 1s from places. Probably my biggest score would be the Persona manga or JoJo's Diamond is Unbreakable hardcover. And I have been looking around for this, the Part 5 Golden Wind hardcover, because my favorite part now, I don't remember if this changed from my video where I mentioned my part tier list in JoJo's, but my part tier list now goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. And then 6. I haven't finished 6 because I genuinely just don't like Jolene. This isn't anything to do with that she's a woman or anything. It's literally just I don't like Jolene. Jolene isn't like fun to me. I don't know. Maybe I have the thing for more stoic characters, but I feel like if you want to do a goofy, like a little goofball, eccentric character like Jolene, follow Josuke. Josuke was done right. He probably because I also enjoyed his company a lot more. Um, Not to say Hermes or Weather Report or were bad. Like Foo Fighters is legitimately one of my favorite characters in this franchise, but I just I feel like there's something more charming about Koichi and Okuyasu. Even if Okuyasu is actually just like a lobotomite, like he is written as this like husk of a man with no brain, like from the Wizard of Oz. Like he's the one with no brain. Like I don't know what to tell you. The I just don't like Jolene. I don't. I haven't gotten very far into part 6 and I already just do not enjoy Jolene and I just can't get the willpower to continue watching part 6 like in one sitting. Like I have to do this in parts and these like I take 2 episodes and then I just don't go watching for like a month or two. I genuinely can't. But like the one piece of motivation I have to finish part 6 is that immediately after I can hop into reading the part 7 manga, which is infinitely more entertaining from my understanding. This is just coming from people I have talked to, people online. That part 7 is really great, but I don't know, man. I just really want to get out of here, out of the part 6 hole. Like, I don't care about Dio's boyfriend or Jotaro's like daughter. I don't care. I'm sorry, but I just don't care. And I am no part skipper. Don't let them lead you astray. I am no part skipper. I am a purist. I will watch any garbage that I have to. I watched Sword Art Online season 1 and 2 and then gave up because Gun Gale absolutely broke me. Gun Gale was horrible. Now, one last thing I wanted to talk about before we get into the thing that happens at the end of every episode. Scott Pilgrim versus the World anime. I saw the trailer and I am in love with it already. Like I had been following it when it first got announced because Scott Pilgrim versus the World is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's that and Kung Fu Hustle. I am a big cinephile. A lot of movies I watch because they seem like things that would interest me, not just because they're out or anything. Like Everything Everywhere All at Once, I watched with my sister. She got confused, but I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna say I understood it completely at first. I went online to see other people's interpretations and made my own. And I enjoyed it. I enjoy watching movies and creating my own conclusions, or seeing what other people have to say whenever whenever I get really into a movie like that. And Scott Pilgrim versus the World, I don't know why. The simple story and the way it's presented from is just beautiful. I love it so much, and I love all the characters. Michael Cera does such a good job being a dork. It's so amazing, and hearing that they're gonna animate it. Oh my, like, yes, please. I read the comics after that. I love Scott Pilgrim versus the World, or I love it, and that trailer just awoke something in me. Like, I think it was the music. The music awoke it in me, because then I was like, oh yeah, Sex Bomb is back, baby. Like, oh my gosh. If you haven't seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World, you have to watch it. I have been trying to get all my friends to watch Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So far, I've gotten one, and I don't know. One day, I gotta get all my homies to hang out, so that then all of us will experience the beauty, the majesty of this movie. Let me tell you, I have seen this movie so many times, and it never gets old. I love it. I love seeing people just, enjoy this film because it's such a fun, goofy film. It has fun with itself. It just lets itself be the freaking nerdy movie that it is, and it's beautiful. Now, last thing we need to talk about is obviously the waifu stuff. Let's see. On top, No change. I should probably stop mentioning that unless it actually does change one day. If someone like kicks Jiro in the shins, gets her off the podium one day, that's not probably not gonna happen. I don't know why. That's just like that's solid there. There's just something nice about short-haired rock and roll girl. I love that sort of thing going on. But I don't even know if number three counts, like for real. But oh my gosh, I keep getting clips in my shorts feed about the my Adventures with Superman show or whatever it's called, with the one where everyone started thirsting over Lois Lane, and oh my gosh, I love Lois Lane's character. She is so fun. I love that Lois Lane is just this really outgoing, eccentric person and that they made Clark an actual dork instead of just like, oh, he's Superman, but he's like he's a dork whenever he has the funny glasses on. Clark Kent, they made him an actual dork, and then he's a dork while saving people as Superman. It's beautiful. I love it. I love this dynamic so much, and that made me love Lois Lane so much. So I'm just gonna throw in third, see what happens there, and then number two is I don't know if this is even a surprise because I feel like this shit's obvious. As I said, I was watching Chainsaw Man, watching and reading Chainsaw Man, but for number two, I chose Kobeni. Like I don't know why. I feel like this is just obvious. Why did like only the deranged people like Makima? Does anyone actually like Power's character? Does anyone like actually enjoy that, or do you just like how Power looks? Because that's a valid argument, but I don't agree with your argument, therefore it's wrong. Like, I genuinely don't understand. The only other character I like female character I like in that show, is Himeno, but she's dead. So, all I want to say is that Kobeni, I don't know why. I just like how she's terrified. Like, she is the only normal person who is terrified by working at the devil hunting agency or whatever the hell it's called. I find that entertaining. Not only entertaining, but I also find it, just nice because I don't like it when anime makes these normal people just like able to, handle trauma. I feel like that's a weak point, like, to because realistically, you are not surfacing you are not getting past the trauma of your father dying to go, like, your father died, like you're not getting over that trauma immediately so you can defeat the demon lord. No, 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 no. Like that stuff like that, no. Like that you need time to recover. And Kobeni just being stuck not only in this field but having to do all of this stuff with these freaking like actually deranged, mentally insane people, like that takes a toll on you. And I find it really interesting that Kobeni is written with this in mind, from what I understand. I don't know. I just really like Kobeni.